Baker, former Clutterholic, borderline hoarder, wanting to share with you the results of my online survey so far. You may have already taken part, so thank you if you did. Don't worry if you didn't, there's still an opportunity to have your say. But there were two questions about what your biggest challenge is right now and what type of clutter you are struggling with. So I wanted to share with you the results so far because it might be that these resonate with you. So the first question was, what is your biggest challenge with clearing your clutter right now? Out on top by a long stretch was overwhelm, knowing where and how to start. Hardly surprising, is it? There's an awful lot of things in our clutter. We feel overwhelmed by the amount of things that we have to make decisions on. We feel overwhelmed by the amount of time it's going to take to deal with our clutter. There are so many elements to that sense of overwhelm. I know when I had my clutter challenge, my overwhelm would actually fuel my procrastination. I decided to do some decluttering. I would open the room that I was going to work on, and it was like a wall. It was like a force field almost. That I almost couldn't step inside the room because I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. So I would literally close the door on it for another day. And usually the same thing would happen. But the overwhelm can literally cause us to procrastinate, can't it? We're actually going to be understanding more about this issue of overwhelm next week in the first week of the social gatherings. Overwhelm was followed in second place was making decisions, which again is kind of linked with the overwhelm, isn't it? Because we think, oh my goodness, where do I start? What do I do? How do I make decisions? Especially if our past experiences of trying to make decisions haven't really worked. Too often we decide, well, am I going to keep this, or am I going to chuck this, or am I going to give it to charity? And those are so limited, those choices. Again, we're going to be talking about making decisions in next term of social gatherings. The second question, what type of clutter are you struggling with most? Out on top in first place was general mixed clutter. And then in second place, closely behind, was paperwork clutter. Paperwork clutter is a really interesting one because, as I describe it, it's small in volume, large in quantity. What do I mean by that? Well, if you think about a ream of paper, you buy a ream of paper, don't you, for your printer? It might be a couple of inches high. So it doesn't take up a huge amount of physical space, a ream of paper, but there are 500 pieces of paper in that ream. And if we think about our paperwork clutter, we need to check each and every piece of paper to decide what we're going to do with it. That is mentally exhausting. And it takes quite a lot of time. And it can be really frustrating because we could spend hours going through a ream of paperwork, a couple of inches of paperwork, and we don't see or feel much of a difference. Paperwork clutter is not fast to deal with. It's a real challenge, and it feels like a hopeless case because we don't see much of a difference, even when we are making decisions and letting go of some of the things in our paperwork clutter. It's one of the reasons actually that the paperwork workshop was the first workshop that I created, because those who are on their clutter clearing journey, actually the first type of clutter that they start learning how to deal with is paperwork clutter, precisely because we all have so much of it that we need to start early on our journey dealing with paperwork clutter, but also because it's an opportunity for us to build our confidence that we can make decisions about the things in our clutter. It doesn't need a lot of physical space to deal with our paperwork clutter, whereas the big and bulky general mixed clutter needs a little bit more space to be able to work through. And our paperwork clutter, we can make decisions. We can flex our decision making muscles and skills on our paperwork clutter without it being physically exhausting. So the results so far don't really surprise me, because over the 20 years that I've been helping people with their clutter challenge, these kind of responses haven't really changed. However, there is still the opportunity for you to have your say and take part in this 2-question survey. If you haven't yet had your say, just click on the link below this video and you will be taken through to the 2-question survey. It's taking on people on average a minute to answer the 2 questions. They're multiple choice questions, so it's not too onerous to participate. But I would love for you to have your say, so that again we can see, are we perfectly normal in terms of what our challenge is and the types of clutter that we're struggling to deal with. Like I say, that I will be able to then use the results of the 2 questions to inform some new videos that I'm going to be recording to help people who are struggling with their clutter. So just click on the link below and answer the 2 questions if you haven't already, and I shall see you very soon. Take care.